及清晨自学须墨，手之不动100千劫，无量法门悉现在前，得大智慧，通达诸法。因为有学，只要去学才会通，一定要积极的去学，一定要把握学习佛法的因缘。
On January 1st, 2013, Dai TV celebrated its 15th anniversary. At the launch ceremony in 1998, Master Zhengyan expressed her hope for Dai TV. Over the years, Dai TV has been striving to spread messages of love. In 1999, the first Dai drama was aired. In 2001, Dai TV station was flooded. Tzu Chi volunteers mobilized to salvage damaged videos. In 2005, Tzu Chi's cultural center opened. Dai TV had a new home. In January, in the midst of a snowstorm, Tzu Chi volunteers in Jordan gave out aid to more than 2,000 Syrian refugees taking shelter in Jordan. Apart from material supplies, Tzu Chi volunteers also brought them loving care and emotional support. Tzu Chi volunteers across Taiwan also collected used clothing for the Syrian refugees.
As the mustard seed, you have the power to move one mountain to another.
In February, Tzu Chi volunteers in Thailand brought rice to a women's prison.
ความรักตรงนี้ต้องเป็นความรักที่บริสุทธิ์ความรักแห่งมนุษยชาติ
Doctors from Tzu Chi's Medical Association personally cooked the rice for the inmates. In 2012, Tzu Chi volunteers gave rice seeds to the inmates as a gift and then planted the seeds on their behalf. After being harvested, the rice was shared with the inmates as well as the needy.
มีคนภายนอกเข้ามามอบความรักให้กับเราเรามีความรู้สึกว่าไม่ใช่เราคนเดียว
In March, Master Zhengyan's Dharma talk on the Lotus Sutra started being aired. All across the world, Tzu Chi volunteers get up early to listen to the Dharma talk live via video conferencing. Despite having difficulty walking, one volunteer goes to Tzu Chi's office before dawn every day to set up everything for everyone to listen to the Dharma talk. By connecting to the Dharma talk at the same time every day, everyone's hearts are drawn together. In April, a major earthquake struck Ya'an in China's Sichuan province. Tzu Chi volunteers immediately set out to deliver relief. On their way to the disaster area, the volunteers prayed for quake victims. Touched by Tzu Chi volunteers' love, many locals pitched in to help prepare relief supplies. Among the local volunteers, many were survivors of the 2008 Sichuan earthquake, who had received Tzu Chi's aid in their time of need.
他双手把这个便当拿起，然后90度鞠躬，这样鞠下去。其实就这个躬，我真的是很感动。
Now, wherever disasters strike, local volunteers will be there.
赶快做呀！就是说，我们如果坐着等，就不对了。
After the 2008 quake, Tzu Chi helped rebuild 13 schools. Some were used as shelters this time.
台湾同胞援建的嘛，能抗8级地震的。
Students stranded at one school even wrote a letter to thank Tzu Chi for bringing them love and care. Tzu Chi volunteers gathered children together, teaching them to sing and to help others.
帮助别人快乐自己。
感谢你们台湾人来，
谢谢台湾来的朋友们。
嗨，慈济基金会爱在庐山关怀行动2次来到我们庐山。
谢谢你们。
Since the severe flooding in 1991, Tzu Chi has never stopped caring for the people in China. In 2013, the Tzu Chi complex in Suzhou was opened.
两岸的同胞能够享受这种和平发展的局面，慈济人有不可磨灭的贡献。
In April, Tzu Chi volunteers signed a memorandum with the Vatican.
我们的协议都是红的，所以我们都是一家人。
Be it Catholicism or Buddhism, all religions share the same lot. In 2012, 2 major earthquakes hit Italy. Since then, Tzu Chi volunteers in Europe have been providing aid to quake survivors.
慈济是代表台湾的这个爱，代表台湾的国际参与。
In April, New York State Senate recognized Tzu Chi for its Hurricane Sandy relief effort.
祈求天下如灾无难，岁岁年年。阿弥陀佛。
Welcome to the White House.
The White House also honored Tzu Chi as a champion of change. In the aftermath of Sandy, Tzu Chi volunteers not only prepared hot meals, but also gave out supplies and cash cards to those affected, including undocumented immigrants.
Voy a comprar lo que ellos necesitan, lo que su lechita de mis nietos.
Malatsi, malatsi.
Many locals were inspired to work with Tzu Chi.
We all family, and I'm keeping you nice and warm.
Even Sandy survivors were inspired to give as well.
I'm going to return back that thanks back to them one day, that somebody else can get something from me, through them.
Thanks to its relief efforts across the U.S., Tzu Chi received yet another recognition in 2013.
The Buddhist Tzu Chi Foundation has been selected as the 2013 National BOED Member of the Year.
This is an affirmation of Tzu Chi's work in the U.S.
Tzu Chi means compassion and relief in Chinese Mandarin.
In May, the schools Tzu Chi helped rebuild for a Catholic organization were inaugurated in Haiti.
I don't know, is Sister Rita accept the school?
We accept the schools. Your gift, however, is much, much more than 2 buildings. It is a gift of hope. I want to say to you, you came back and you did what you said you would do. You kept your promise.
In 2010, Haiti was struck by a major earthquake. After its immediate relief efforts, Tzu Chi carried out various projects to help Haiti rebuild.
3年后的今天，已经变成这个样子。Incredible.
For the projects, a volunteer went to Haiti 38 times.
Most important person I want to appreciate is our dear Master and the global Tzu Chi volunteers. Without your love, we cannot make it.
In 2013, Tzu Chi volunteers held rice distributions in Haiti, warming the hearts of those in need and children in orphanages. Apart from distributing supplies, Tzu Chi volunteers also seized the opportunity to encourage people to give of themselves with love.
You always have the happy, you always have the joy inside.
I like Master Chen to many people, no problem.
In May, Tzu Chi volunteers worldwide held Buddha Day ceremonies to commemorate Buddha Day, Mother's Day, and Tzu Chi Day.
Altogether,
over 300,000 people in 36 countries and regions took part in the Buddha Day ceremonies.
Religions are all the same.
This uplifts my energy.
In Taipei, due to heavy rain, participants put on ponchos in the middle of the ceremony, changing the color of the formation in the blink of an eye. Tzu Chi volunteers even went to a prison to hold a Buddha Day ceremony for the inmates. In the Philippines, around 300 local volunteers came to help set up the ceremony site. After the ceremony, a rice distribution and an event to promote filial piety were held. In Zimbabwe, the Buddha Day ceremony was held for the first time. The locals even gave a performance in the formation of a Dharma ship, although most of them had never seen an ocean before. Under the beating sun, the locals gathered together to learn more about Tzu Chi's values.
No matter where you are, also can change your life. You are following the law.
Despite the distance, their hearts remain with Taiwan, the birthplace of Tzu Chi.
提供很简单的一个午餐，但是对这些小朋友是一个很不一样的结果。
In June, Tzu Chi volunteers held winter aid distributions in South Africa and gave out rice from Taiwan to the needy.
We think they can come and give love to us every time.
In South Africa, Tzu Chi has over 5,000 Zulu volunteers. They care for the ill and the poor, and even go to neighboring countries to bring aid to the needy. In Swaziland, they give out rice to the needy and encourage them to help those worse off than them. In Mozambique, to prepare for the rice distributions, 2 local volunteers set out a day beforehand and spent the night under a tree. Lesotho also received rice from Taiwan. In Africa, Tzu Chi's training sessions are held from time to time for local volunteers from South Africa, Swaziland, Lesotho, Mozambique and Zimbabwe to learn more about Tzu Chi's philosophy and etiquette.
Love and care.
我这一群呢，粒粒都是黑珍珠，都是师父的宝啊。
In 2013, Tzu Chi's medical association, TIMA, turned 15 years old.
慈济的精神带回去。
I see how you treat well people here.
TIMA members also witnessed how Tzu Chi pays respect to body donors.
Not just money and spreading the love.
Master Chenyan, for this beautiful experience, and also Tzu Chi.
Every year, TIMA members will gather in Taiwan to celebrate the Moon Festival with Master Zhengyan. But this time, those in Zamboanga of the Philippines couldn't make it. Due to a conflict in Zamboanga, local TIMA members stayed behind to care for those affected. Since 2003, Tzu Chi volunteers in Zamboanga have been providing free prostheses for those who lost their limbs. To care for the poor and ill, local TIMA members often go to remote areas to hold free clinics. After standing for long hours, their feet became swollen, but their hearts were filled with joy.
你去看到人中的像，永远在头上。
After the clinic, they thanked those they'd served.
We like Master to stay with us forever. That's going to be impossible. So we just have to. We just have to continue because she said she cannot be with us forever. And she wants us to learn from her as fast as we can so that we can continue our work.
我一定会跪在她面前，感恩说她救了我们一个家庭。
In October, Tzu Chi's bone marrow registry celebrated its 20th anniversary.
谢谢你给我重生的机会。
他跟我说：“爸爸，我想手术，我想活下去。”
After Tzu Chi's bone marrow registry was established in 1993, Tzu Chi volunteers in Taiwan took to the streets to recruit potential donors. They walked around carrying signboards and held bone marrow donation drives across Taiwan. They also visited donors and brought care to them. As of November 2013, the number of registered donors has exceeded 380,000.
你的爱，海上人的爱，大家的爱，我一定把这个爱传出去。
As of 2013, Tzu Chi's bone marrow registry has helped more than 3,300 people in 29 countries. In November, Super Typhoon Haiyan caused severe devastation in the Philippines. In the worst-hit areas, the landscapes were no longer the same. Building temporary shelters. Preparing aid supplies. Tzu Chi volunteers worldwide have all mobilized to help.
我们要发挥爱的能量啊，点点滴滴汇聚呢，这一念爱心呢，就叫做造福。
Apart from holding free clinics and giving out aid, Tzu Chi volunteers fundraise around the world to help the Philippines.
October, devastating bushfires burned out this area, leaving countless homes and vehicles destroyed. In Blue Mountains, major bushfires flare up in different spots, overwhelming local firefighters.
To be treated with such kindness, it's like you're wrapping us in a warm blanket.
To our city, you were the first here.
Your generosity is overwhelming, but more importantly, the fact that you care so much is just wonderful.
I'm sure I join with all my fellow councillors in just expressing our absolutely deepest gratitude for what you're doing and what you're proposing to do. It's help like this that will help the community get back onto its feet, help it to recover.
Meanwhile, Sydney Tzu Chi volunteers 60 kilometers away took to the streets to canvass for donations and organize charity sales, all in the hope of helping the now homeless residents get back on their feet.
I'm almost speechless, but I will say some more. But it just reinstills your faith in mankind, that there are people out there with such kind hearts. So thank you so much.
This group of Brisbane Tzu Chi volunteers is on their way to Bundaberg, some 360 kilometers away, to carry out a relief distribution. Following massive flooding in January, many families in Bundaberg were forced to flee their homes and are now still in the process of rebuilding. At the Bundaberg East Day School, with support of local city council, volunteers distributed much-needed aid to fallout victims.
Their sole purpose in life is to come out after a disaster and help people. They ask nothing in return. They're all volunteers, and they absolutely give their time for nothing. And on behalf of the council, I guess I'd like to say is, xie xie, hou pang yao. Thank you.
With their arms full of aid supplies, many of the recipients feel blessed. A long trip from Brisbane, Tzu Chi volunteers arrive on scene to hand out blankets and cash cards. Such a kind gesture touches many local residents in the town.
I know that, I don't know whether Patrick ever got the article from one of my parents. It was in the newsmail. And it's that care and compassion and that reaching out for others.
These paintings show each child's inner world and also their improvement. Australia Tzu Chi volunteers have extended support and care to children who suffer from autism and their families for many years now, and run training classes for these children on a weekly basis. Through art and music, the children can openly express themselves. With the help of a professional teacher, some can sing a song. Others can play the piano.
We hope these families can find some fortitude and see this as a place where they can have some time off and forget about their worries.
Dentists of Timor, Australia have been organising ongoing free dental clinics in Town for 7 years now. Tzu Chi extended the scope of services with dentistry students giving a talk on maintaining oral hygiene. Year on year, services have become more comprehensive, better serving the needs of local residents.
Regardless of their background or race, at the Tzu Chi Free Dental Clinic in Perth, Australia, everyone is treated equally and with respect.
The first thing they ask us is, how much is the treatment? I think the free clinic is different because it focuses on helping those in greater need and is not about money. The Tzu Chi Sydney chapter is holding its second free dental clinic. Brisbane Tzu Chi volunteers especially brought their mobile dental equipment to help. Prior to the start of the free clinic, volunteers worked together to turn a gymnasium into a dental office.
Thank you for all the support work that you're doing here. I haven't seen such a thing around this area before. I think it's tremendous. Everyone here has a heart and desire to help people.
Here at the Tzu Chi Introductory Seminar in Melbourne, Australia, participants are making simple vegetarian dishes as well as taking to the streets to promote the recycling of reusable items and batteries.
Every
Tzu Chi volunteer is here contributing selflessly to others, and I think this is something I need to learn. I often do many things solely for my own sake.
Tzu Chi volunteers and Tzu Chings together put on a sign language song to pass on the message of filial piety, inspiring these students who are all far away from home. We are still in our teenage and rebellious phase, so the short play on arguing and talking back to parents is something we can all relate to. For my own part, I felt dismayed by how disobedient I was in the past. The simple gesture of serving tea to parents is a moving scene for many, as the seminar seems to have inspired these students to look at life from a new perspective.
At the town's celebration of Australia Day, the Mayor of Ipswich offers an award to Tzu Chi volunteers in recognition of their service to the town. As volunteer Wu Zhaofeng gets on stage to receive the award, the Mayor asks all of the volunteers present to join them on stage and be recognized. During the flood of 2011, Tzu Chi volunteers from the Gold Coast traveled to hard-hit Ipswich to offer care and support, building a relationship that has continued to this day. To show his appreciation, the mayor personally traveled to Taiwan to give his thanks to Master Zheng Yan. During the celebration, the mayor and the city woman wear clothing made from PET bottles given to them earlier in the day by the volunteers.
It's very hard to imagine that it is made from recycled goods.
For both, the gifts are ones which they will treasure.
To the master,
to all the followers, congratulations, you are making a difference, and I can tell you, you have one more follower. That's me.